Hey everybody, welcome to the channel and welcome to the conference. All honor, glory, and praise be to our one and only Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I've been led to hold another conference today. I feel compelled. I want to talk about energetic assault. Energetic assault. I have reason to believe that a lot of you out there are under energetic assault. Me being somebody that Satan tried that mess on, I feel like that, this is not a boast, but I feel like I'm more than qualified to speak a word to help somebody out there. Because once you have experienced something and walked through something yourself, then you know about it, and who better to talk about something than somebody who knows about something. And I don't know anybody's personal battles out there, of course, it's none of my business, but I have reason to believe that there are those out there that you are under energetic assault. And what I mean by energetic assault is that you have either married or you're dating or you're living with somebody that is on a regular basis assaulting you with their speech, with their tongue. And that negative energy is coming towards you. And a lot of you out there may be absorbing it. Others of you may be rejecting it and resisting it. But whatever your respective cases are out there, I'm telling you that through Christ, you can conquer all. Let's get into this. If you are somebody that married the wrong person, then perhaps you are experiencing energetic assault. And what I have so much going through my mind, or coming to my mind, by the way, coming to my mind. This is what I'm trying to say. If you are somebody that married the wrong person, you have meshed yourself with a negative energy. Excuse me. With a negative energy. You have intertwined yourself with a negative force, a dark energy. You have combined yourself with something that is the opposite of yourself. Most likely you were deceived, misled, misdirected, misguided. And there was a ditch dug for you that you could not see because you were walking in darkness. And it's the same as if you walk through the woods at night. You can't see at night. You don't know where your feet are treading. And see, when you don't have the knowledge to know that God has given you the ability and capability to discern that spirit beforehand, you're going to lean into your own understanding. Why? Well, because you're you. Because it's the only mind that you know to delve into and follow. You follow your own thoughts. You follow what you feel is right. Because you don't come into this world being knowledgeable of spiritual warfare. You are born into this world into spiritual warfare. But you don't have a knowledge of what it is, or that you're even in it. And what Jesus Christ desires to do is come into your life to make you aware of that which is not obvious. Okay? So many of you out there, as a lot of people have, who did not get married, you chose the wrong people, the wrong person for your lives. And I do feel that it is worse when you marry the wrong person than when you date. Because when you date, there's no legal binding. There's no covenant. Dating and deciding to be exclusive, I feel like you can make an agreement. But I'm talking about as far as a covenant before the Lord, that's not established. Dating is something where you can just part ways. Perhaps, and I mean like legally, maybe not emotionally, but you could just part ways and that's that. But marriage is something totally different, because if you divorce, it leads to dividing assets and if you have children, custody battles perhaps, and who's going to get the house, who's going to get the car, the land, the property, the money, and how's the money going to be distributed, who's going to get the bulk of the money in the bank account if you have joint accounts, or if you have separate accounts but you don't have a prenup, then who's going to get what, and all that messy red tape, so to speak. Figuratively speaking, maybe it's not literally. A lot comes with marriage, because marriage really is a merge. And when you merge yourself with somebody that you thought was compatible with your energy, even though maybe you weren't even thinking about energy at the time, maybe that wasn't your thought pattern at the time, or maybe you came to learn about energy and stuff like that. But when you merged yourself and meshed yourself and intertwined yourself with the wrong energy, and then that energy assaults you verbally on a daily basis, that is a strike to your soul. That is a strike to your spirit. It takes a very strong person to, I'm hearing, compartmentalize demonic attacks and assaults from the mouths of others and not be affected at all by what is being said. That's a very strong-minded person. That's a mind that has been fortified by Jesus Christ himself. That's somebody that stands in total confidence, in their total confidence. And a lot of people don't have that. And then a lot of people do. Especially if you are aware and very strategic in psychological warfare, because that's what it is. Insults, put downs, you being cursed out, that's psychological warfare, because it's not anything that's physically touching you, but it is something that is verbally striking you. And when it is on a daily basis, that is somebody that is energetically hitting you with their tongue and their speech, trying to take you down. And if you are the type of person you're resistant to that, they will increase it perhaps. So it'll be more and more and more energetic psychological warfare. And the more that you resist, perhaps the more they attack. Why? Because they see that what they're saying to you is not getting to you. There are those of you get cursed out on a daily basis. Or you get called names on a daily basis. Or perhaps for you ladies, perhaps you found it difficult to lose baby fat once you had your children, and you're being called all sorts of names by your husbands or your boyfriends, or you're being ridiculed, or or maybe you're being compared to other women. For you fellas, maybe you were a star football player in high school, and you were in tip-top shape, and then you became a dad, and you took on a workload, and now you just don't feel like working out, and maybe you're not in the best shape that you felt you were in when you were younger, in your younger years, or even a couple of years, or whatever your respective cases may be out there. And maybe your wife is making little slight comments to attack your self-esteem. That's an energetic attack. That's energetic assault. That is somebody that may not be physically touching you, but they're touching you with their tongue. So how do you stand up against something like that when you are locked into a covenant with somebody like that? And you can't go left nor right. Why? Well, because you're both financially dependent on one another. So let's get into this conference. How do you stand up against that? That's the question. How do you keep your mental intact and your self-esteem high and your self-value and worth aligned with who you know you should be? Not with who your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend is telling you should be, but who you know you are. I'm hearing because you knew who you were before you met them. You knew who you were before you allowed that toxic energy into your life. by way of deception. And I've added by way of deception into it because I don't think anybody deliberately gets involved with toxic people. I know there are people that say a lot of people have patterns, people who have been in multiple abusive relationships or multiple this. Perhaps there may be some sort of unforeseen, I don't know if the word is dynamic, or some type of unforeseen trait or some type of unforeseen personality trait that serves as a familiarity for somebody that is accustomed to abuse, and maybe they are unconsciously drawn to that in that person, not knowing that it is what's the word, trauma bond or trauma attraction or something. Meaning, you take a female that grew up in an abusive household, she might unconsciously or subconsciously, rather, not unconsciously, sorry y'all, subconsciously be drawn to a man that may be abusive, but not abusive to where she sees it. But because she's so accustomed to that type of energy, that's what she identifies with, so that's what she migrates towards. I can't break it down the way I want it to, but I'm just saying, you guys. A lot of people, but other than that, I don't think people deliberately choose toxic people. No, you choose people because you feel like, okay, this is somebody I'm compatible with. This is somebody that's a nice guy or a nice girl or whatever. You feel she's a nice lady. You feel he's a nice man. Well, that's the mask that narcissists wear. That's the mask that demons wear. And that's the mask that a filthy tongue will wear until they feel like they know you like that. And when people feel like that familiarity has been established, that's when they will come out of a bag and come off the wrong way. Because they think, oh, well, now I know you, I can take off the mask. Now I know you, I can say to you whatever I want to say. I don't have to try to impress you to get you because I've got you. That's what I'm talking about. And a lot of people, you find yourselves trapped in marriages like that. And you want to leave, and maybe you have your friends telling you, well, why don't you just leave him? Why don't you just leave her? And you can't, because you're financially dependent on your verbal abuser, on somebody that is attacking you energetically, somebody that is putting you down energetically. How do you handle a situation like that? Well, here's the answer. You don't. You give it to God. A lot of people may say, that's easier said than done. Perhaps in some cases it is, especially if that person has a stronghold on you. But just because it's easier said than done does not mean it cannot be done. Because a person that energetically, verbally assaults you, that's an enemy. I don't care if it's your husband, your boyfriend, your significant other, your situation person or whatever. That's an enemy. That's an enemy. An enemy is not always somebody that's charging out of the bushes or out of a alleyway at you with a knife or a gun or whatever. An enemy is not always somebody that you pass in the hallways in high school or college or the workplaces. An enemy can be somebody that you walk down the aisle with. I'm hearing initially somebody that you lay in the bed with at night. An enemy can be somebody that you are with at night in the bed, and then you've got a devil out of the spiritual realm telling you, you made your bed, now lie in it. You made your bed, now fry in it. Let me tell you something. If somebody has told you that, or if just even in your own mind, Satan has said that, or a demon has said that to you in your mind, you know what you need to tell the demon and the devil and any other enemy? No, you lie in it. You lie in it. I don't have to. Because I can do all things through Christ, my God, which strengthens me. Including my sister, whoever you are. Including my brother, whoever you are. Getting up out of that bed and leaving that demon there by his or herself. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? Any way made for you is made by God. Any way made for you is made through and by way of the hand of God. God can move in your situation, and he will move in your situation, if only you will let him. If only you will stop taking matters into your own hands, if that's what you're doing, and let him. And if you are not taking matters into your own hand, and you are allowing God to do it, you need to emotionally detach yourselves from that situation and that individual. And you need to study them instead of stir because of them. You need to study them instead of stir because of them. And what I'm hearing is, I think I heard, make them your subjects. Course of study. Classroom. Study the dummy that thinks they're manipulating you. Test dummy. Jesters who don't know no better because they don't know about you. See, sometimes you got to reach back throughout the halls of time to who you were before that demonic entity or energy came into your life. Because a lot of you feel like you walked away from you when you walked towards them. And perhaps you did in some aspect of the word. Because you merged yourself with somebody else instead of remaining in your own energy. You joined yourselves to somebody else's energy that you didn't know about through and through. And you built together perhaps. And you intertwined together. But it was like mixing oil and water. It just doesn't work. Because their energy may have looked like yours. It may have smelled sweet like yours. It may have seemed sweet like yours. But it won't like yours. It was of a demonic derivative. The gates of hell applauded your union, figuratively speaking. Satan thought he had won. He thought he could win. He thought it would be your downfall. Erasing yourself by embracing them. He wanted your energy to merge with theirs, to destroy you from the inside out. Because you can't run from energy, you can only run from people. You can remove yourself physically, but not spiritually. You may have mixed emotions about them. It is not until God purges you out that you can let them go energetically. It may not be them you love, but their energy. Because you embrace what you can identify with. You identify with their energy because it was deceptive. They made you believe they were something they were not. You were deceived and misled. Their union was tainted by their lies. God saw it all go down. The only way out is by way of God. You have to be purged in your spirit apart from them. You have to release them and flush them out. Waymaker will make a way out of no way. God's eyes see it all. He knows you're cast down. He didn't create you to be that way. Remember who you are. Remember who you were. Get back to you. Get away from them. God has called you to peace. They're tearing you down and ruining your life. Take your life back. Take your composure back. Energetically, take your energy back. Resist their insults. They are lies. They're projecting. That's an enemy. Toxin. Sent by the devil. Now go in peace.